When I first saw it, I thought that this was a US-made, very advanced next-generation fighter, and in fact that this would explain all the UFO sightings. It was only later to find out that that wasn't the case. We're looking at something, scarcely bigger than a basketball that's doing this.
When the metallic sphere appeared above Colombia, locals thought it was a secret military craft. Its movements were unreal. It stopped instantly, darted sideways like light, then shot off at speeds no aircraft should reach. Some whispered it was American technology, others joked that it explained every UFO sighting of the past 70 years. But when it came down, the truth proved far stranger. It wasn't a jet, it wasn't a drone, it wasn't even as large as a car. It was barely bigger than a basketball. March 2025. The quiet town of Buga became the center of one of the most extraordinary events of modern history. People stared at the sky in disbelief. A shining orb zigzagged in silence. It hovered, dropped, then rose again like gravity did not exist. Finally, it plummeted, hitting the ground with a thud so strong it shook windows. Later that day, David Vez, a man out with his metal detector, discovered the object lying in a field. It sat inside a circle of dead grass, not scorched, not burned, simply lifeless, as if drained of energy. At the center was a flawless metallic sphere, 20 inches wide, reflective like a mirror, smooth like liquid silver. When Vez bent to lift it, he was shocked. It weighed only 4 or 5 pounds, lighter than a grocery bag. But weeks later, scientists measured it again. Now the same object weighed 22 pounds. Objects do not gain weight on their own. Yet this one did. Researchers at Mexico's National Autonomous University examined it. Their findings were disturbing. The sphere could reduce its weight by exactly 81%. Not sometimes, not randomly, precisely. As if it controlled the pull of gravity itself. And wherever it touched, life ended. The soil beneath it was drained of moisture. Plants wilted instantly. Months later, the circle remained barren. This was no scrap of satellite debris. Its behavior suggested a design. Weight control, environmental damage, seamless construction. The evidence pointed to technology far beyond human engineering. And the strangest detail? Every feature matched the testimony of a man the world had once laughed at, Bob Lazar. In 1989, Lazar told a story that sounded like pure fantasy. He said he worked at a site called S4, near the infamous Area 51 in Nevada. There, according to him, the US government stored 9 alien craft in underground hangars. His assignment? To study and reverse engineer their power systems. He described a reactor, just 18 inches wide. It looked like a polished dome, molded in one piece with no seams, rivets, or welds. Inside was a core of element 115, a material that did not exist on our periodic table at the time. This reactor, he said, produced amplified gravity waves. Ships powered by it could reduce their own mass and inertia to almost nothing, allowing impossible movements, instant stops, sharp turns, and silent hovering. Scientists laughed. Element 115 was unknown. Gravity manipulation was science fiction. Seamless metal with no welds was impossible. His story was dismissed as nonsense. But over time, pieces of Lazar's tale started to line up. The layout of Area 51, as he described it, was later confirmed. Security routines he mentioned proved accurate. Then, in 2003, Russian scientists created element 115 in a lab. They called it Moscovium. It was unstable, but it existed. Now, decades later, a sphere had fallen in Colombia, and it matched Lazar's description in ways no hoax could. When scientists opened the Buga sphere with advanced scans, the similarities to Lazar's story became undeniable. Inside, they saw a central core surrounded by 16 to 18 smaller spheres, each arranged in a perfect geometric pattern. This was exactly what Lazar had described, a central element with spherical components forming the heart of the reactor. The surprises didn't stop there. The object contained a web of fiber-like filaments, stretching from the core to the outer shells. They looked like fiber optics, but were made of something unknown. Ordinary fiber optics carries light signals for internet and telecom systems, but these strands seemed capable of something much greater. Some researchers speculated they were conduits for quantum communication. If true, the sphere could transmit data instantly across vast distances, perhaps even across star systems. That raised chilling questions. If this sphere were a probe, what information had it already gathered? Environmental readings? Human responses? Was it already sending live data back to its creators, whoever and wherever they were? And this was not an isolated case. Similar metallic orbs had appeared around the world. The Pentagon confirmed to Congress in 2023 that metallic spheres were among the most common unidentified aerial phenomena reported by military systems. They ranged from 1 to 4 meters across, capable of hovering or accelerating instantly with no visible engines. In 2016, US forces filmed the Mosul Orb over Iraq, a reflective sphere gliding across the sky. Airline pilots over the UK reported glowing orbs pacing their flights at exact altitude and speed. Farmers in Argentina captured video of balls of light hovering silently above their fields. The Buga sphere was not unique, it was part of a growing pattern. Even history contained hints. In 1974, a family in Florida discovered the Betz mystery sphere after a wildfire. That orb too was seamless, strange inside, and capable of bizarre behavior. Navy X-rays showed smaller masses within, and witnesses claimed it moved on its own. At the time, it was dismissed. Today, it looks like a piece of the same puzzle. Then came the discovery that stunned the world. Dr. Elena Vasquez at Mexico's National University studied the sphere's surface under high-resolution lasers. She found that the metal healed itself. Tiny scratches faded over time. The atoms reorganized to maintain flawless smoothness. The tools could not cut it. Diamond blades, plasma torches, and high-powered lasers all failed. The material absorbed and dispersed energy, making it effectively indestructible. And the isotopes in the metal didn't match anything from Earth. Buried within the atomic structure was a coded sequence. At first, it looked like noise, but when analyzed with pattern recognition, it revealed prime numbers. This was deliberate, not random. Prime numbers are a universal mathematical language. The sequence, once decoded, pointed to coordinates in space. The location, Zeta Reticuli, a star system 37 light-years away. This was the exact system Bob Lazar had claimed the alien craft came from in 1989. The odds of this being a coincidence were close to zero. Some scientists tried to remain skeptical. Dr. Gary Nolan of Stanford said he was 99% sure it was human-made, yet admitted the seamless design, the weight shifting, and the fiber network were beyond known capabilities. If it was human technology, it was centuries ahead of anything public. If it was not human, then the implications were staggering. Gravity manipulation breaks the foundation of physics as we know it. If mastered, it could make space travel routine. Rockets, fuel, and boosters would be obsolete. A spacecraft could rise from Earth with almost no energy cost. Journeys to Mars could be as quick and casual as a transatlantic flight. Energy technology would also transform. If this device truly bent fundamental forces, it could lead to limitless, clean power. Climate change, resource scarcity, and energy wars could vanish. Humanity could enter a new era overnight. But there was another side: surveillance, control. If these spheres were probes, Earth had already been under watch for decades. Every movement, every technological step, every weapon test, observed and possibly reported back across the stars in real time. Humanity might already be part of a much larger network, without consent, without knowledge. The geopolitical impact would be explosive. Nations that unlocked this technology would leap centuries ahead. Governments might already be racing in secret to reverse engineer what they can. The recent increase in official UAP disclosures may not be generous. It may be preparation, softening the public for truths that can no longer be hidden. And then there is Bob Lazar himself. Once mocked, now vindicated. His descriptions of size, design, gravity manipulation, and even the star system all matched the boogosphere. If he was right about this, how much more of his testimony was true? How much has been hidden? The sphere is more than an object. It is a message, a warning, a promise, proof that technology far beyond ours exists, and that we are not the most advanced intelligence in the neighborhood of the galaxy. The final discovery only deepened the mystery. Within the coded isotopes, researchers found not just prime numbers, but coordinates relative to our solar system, pointing outward to Zeta Reticuli. This was not an accident of physics, it was a signature. Someone encoded their origin in the atoms themselves. That means the boogosphere may not only be technology, it may be communication, a deliberate artifact sent to be found, decoded, and understood when humanity was finally ready. And now it has been. The question is no longer whether we are alone. The question is, what happens next? Will humanity weaponize this knowledge, racing into a new arms race with technology beyond imagination? Will scientists harness it for peace, energy, and exploration? Or will the truth remain hidden, controlled by a few, while the rest of the world waits in ignorance? The boogosphere is not just history's strangest artifact, it is the key to a future that could redefine what it means to be human. And if the encoded coordinates are genuine, if they really point to Zeta Reticuli, then the story is not over. The story is just beginning. What do you think? Could this be the evidence that finally changes everything we believe about our place in the universe?